Well, it's a great pleasure to welcome Dell Technologies to What's Next. We are going to be in conversation with Doug Woolley, who's the Managing Director of Dell Technologies South Africa. Amongst other things, we'll just be talking about, digital transformation, a buzzword that Doug's been using before the word digital transformation became a buzzword. And we'll talk about the big Dell Technology Forum coming up. Now, with digital transformation being a major area of focus for businesses and government across South Africa, Dell Technologies has really reinforced its commitment to advancing the country's ICT agenda. The Dell Technologies Forum South Africa 2021 will be held virtually this year and will bring together business leaders and industry experts to share insights on how technology can help shape the future success of businesses in the country. So it's a great pleasure to welcome Doug. Doug, how are you doing firstly?
Aki, very well, thank you. Yeah, getting used to this lockdown, working from home, but yeah, all good, and also glad to at least have a victory from our, Springboks, who, we one of the key sponsors. So yeah, I was a bit worried because they're one of the, draw cards for our Dell Forum, and glad that they could pull off something. So hopefully more people will join us to listen to what Jock and team have to say. So, all good. And hopefully the same on your side.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll never forget the conversation we had before the World Cup, and you said, watch the Springboks. And of course, quite right, Dell is the technology partner of the Springboks, and I know we've had a few nail-biting close finishes, but glad about the win. We'll chat about that in a second. But, I mean, this digital transformation index, I mentioned earlier, you've been talking about digital transformation well before it even became a buzzword, but this index that Dell has got, according to Dell Technologies, Digital Transformations Index, which was released, I think, earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Earlier the year, yeah, 100% right.
I mean, transformation is really seen as a critical business driver for economic growth. We've seen it, 79% of business organizations in South Africa fast-tracking their transformation agendas, and we've had quite a few conversations about this. Sure. But the 2021 edition of the Dell Technologies Forum is going to highlight on the growing importance of data in fueling this digital transformation initiative and the initiatives going forward, with interesting insights on how emerging technologies, for example, will turn data into value, giving organizations a competitive advantage to succeed in a digital era. So, I mean, Doug, when you look at this, this massive data that we are generating every single day and digital transformation, I mean, we've seen tremendous growth since 2020 when this pandemic started, but the index has been quite interesting in really highlighting the importance of digital transformation.
Yes, indeed, Aki. And I think, it's a great yardstick to understand where one, organizations are, and two, also sort of where countries are on that journey. And you rightly point out, data is that new currency. And I think people have known about this for a very, very long time. We've had many, many industries that are sitting on pools of data, and have always tried to, utilize that to the benefit of their business. I think we've seen, a lot of social companies use data, sometimes to the good of humanity and sometimes not. Mm-hmm. And I think businesses are starting to understand the importance of data. But and how to drive business outcomes, and also to understand what their consumers are looking out for. So I think the closer we get business to understanding a consumer's needs, the better they are able to fulfill that. And that's why I think data is that new currency, because if you can act on it, and if you can get future insights into it, things like product development and services that you would render to the broader community would be so much easier to bring to market. So I think we'll see far less duds. I think if you in the marketing arena, what do they say? 1 in 10 products fail. With data at the heart of it, I think we'll see far less failures, probably more robust services and products being brought to market. And obviously for the companies, way less, wastage of R&D. So, data, I think, is going to be at the forefront of most organizations and where they're looking to move to in the future.
So, I'm looking forward to the Dell Technologies Forum. It's taking place on the 21st of October, right, Doug?
Correct.
And data is going to be like a massive focus on it. I understand even the keynote address that's going to be delivered is going to focus on data. And you're also going to be announcing something very interesting, the Data Paradox Index. And this is probably one of the main reasons why so much media is going to be attending. Tell us about this index, Doug.
Look, the index is very much as what we were saying is, to understand exactly, where companies are, very much like the tech index that we've had and the digital transformation index. We're now taking a bigger lens on the data and the insights that, we've seen and how companies are utilizing data moving forward. And again, it's very much based on, who are laggards, who are leaders, and what are the benefits of driving, this data paradox per se, and very much on what I touched earlier, where can data play a meaningful role in organizations, and showing exactly what the benefits are, in driving economic growth, company growth. So very much driven around the economic principles of data in organizations. So a lot of data points, which I don't have, off the top of my fingers at the moment, but come and, listen to the keynote. We've got them all there. And those insights should give organizations a very good idea of, one, where they would be within their industry, where South Africa is as a country, and the importance of data in driving and fueling this digital economy that we're in.
Yeah, no, very exciting. And it's something that Dell Technologies has been driving since the start of this pandemic. I mean, you guys have built a studio at your headquarters, and you've been having regular discussions every single month with all your partners, doing all of this, virtually, just talking about this cloud transformation, digital transformation, and a very strong focus on data. And a lot of talk about Apex Flex on demand as a service and flexible payment options. And I guess with this digital transformation, there's obviously it costs money, but you can see the deliverables and you can see the difference it's made to your businesses. But Dell's also coming to the party with these flexible payment options. Do you want to touch on that, Doug?
Yeah, I think it's more of a, it's a flexible payment option, but I think it talks more to a model that allows organizations to be flexible and agile. As I pointed out, in one or two of our talks, the whole digital transformation model that companies are going through does lend itself to you having to be more flexible, more agile, quicker off the mark. The challenge is where's this, shift? Have I got enough capital to deliver on some of the opportunities and scale that is sometimes required? And one of the reasons why cloud is, taken off is that you've got a lot of that. So what we're doing for organizations that, maybe don't have, applications that are able to, moving to the cloud, is to provide exactly that type of platform on a consumption-based model where they can go and, bring infrastructure and platforms, up into their business upfront with a flexible payment model. So, if they need to scale up or scale down, they've got that flexibility. So it doesn't hamper their business, doesn't hamper their growth, and doesn't hamper their ideas. Because I think that's the thing we're seeing at the moment in time is, I think the pandemic has brought forth a plethora of ideas, and it's difficult from a capital perspective to always implement that. We're now making it very easy for organizations on these, consumption models to really put on the platform, and you basically accelerate or decelerate, let's say if the market turns on you, to, the size that you want. So, I think it's more supporting the business models that organizations are, and, making it very easy from a capital perspective, to afford it.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm hearing from you as well is that it gives you the ability to scale when you need to scale, and hit that accelerator when you need to accelerate. Because there are unpredictabilities in the market right now. Now, the event is also going to highlight. We've just touched on data, for example, but Dell Technologies is more than just data. You've got cloud infrastructure. You're enabling people with hardware, from monitors to you name it, and from the security security front as well. So the impact of digital technologies on sports, and we touched on this just now. And you, I mean, I've been to one of your forums in Las Vegas where you had the McLaren car, because you're the technology partner for the McLaren, and of course also the Springboks. And, Jacques Ninaba, who is the head coach of the Springbok rugby team. I mean, I've seen the technologies that they use. I've seen the adverts with a rugged, the rugged notebook that you guys have introduced. But at the end of the day, when you talk about business and data, it's no different to sport, right? And the Springboks using the data. I've seen some of the analytics that's, empowered by Dell, and it's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, indeed. And I think you've touched on two sports teams where data is becoming all important because, again, it impacts performance. It impacts a whole host of variables that they have to look at. And yes, we see the cute, rugged notebook that, the Boks play with and the front end stuff that we give them in terms of notebooks. But it's really the back end stuff that really where the magic happens. And a lot of what we've been doing with them is to really give them data insight. So, they track, video footage like you wouldn't believe. And, they've got those trackers in every jersey. So it's that data analytics that is allowing them to effectively, on a remote basis, provide the Boks with constant information throughout the year. And that's, I think, has been the differentiator. When you speak to Rassie and Jacques, those data inputs, allow the players to operate, at an optimum throughout the year without the coaches actually, physically pulling them into a camp. And it's very similar for McLaren. McLaren, it's probably at a 10 times the scale of what the Springboks do, because it's, every second that car is sending through data. And again, that is happening live in race as they're changing, setups on the car based on the algorithms and, some of the, data scientist input that they get. And again, run all on our infrastructure with a lot of, support from our team. So, yeah, sport, very much a data-driven world now. And you see it in the performance, and it makes a big difference for the coaches and for the teams to, utilize that in an efficient way.
And let's not mention the word Australia, please, or 1 point. No. I don't want to hear any of that discussion. But I'm looking...
The lost continent somewhere in the Pacific.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to hearing Jacques at the Dell Technologies Forum. But I guess, as you were talking about sport and you're talking about Formula One, for example, I mean, rugby is no different to business, right? If you think of being on the field and the ball's being passed around and somebody gets a tackle, I mean, you can change the word tackle to another business impact, and the data that you're gathering around that to make your next decision after that particular tackle is ultimately going to determine whether the team or the business succeeds. So I guess that it's so interesting to hear you talking about how data's being used across. I mean, data's got no boundaries, right? You can use it in any kind of business, in sport, in any kind of predictive analytics, and that's what you guys do really, really well. So looking forward to it. Doug, you're a big focus and on your partners and your channel business, etc. How's it going with the channel and the partners, and what can they look forward to at this year's Dell Technology Forum?
Look, partners are at the essence of, a lot of what we do. The partners give us scale into the market. And obviously the key differential is the skill sets that they bring. Yes. We are a fairly small organization in South Africa, but through our partner base are able to expand and deliver, smart solutions to customers, virtually in every town in South Africa and Southern Africa for that matter. So they're very, very important. The skill sets that they carry are critical to the success of our business. And again, I think, what we're looking to from a partner perspective is really just engaging with them, showing them how to make money, what are some of the smart technologies that, they should invest in to take to market. So really, packed around their needs rather than, a specific market condition. So, I'd implore all of them to attend. We're going to show them, smart ways of making more money through the programs that we're running, the incentives, as well as technologies that are, at the forefront of some of the stuff that we're pushing, like, private 5G, our cyber recovery solutions, and then just, the whole data analytics play. So, 3 or 4 very important drivers for them to accelerate their businesses as well, and very much focused around, their needs.
And I also love that what you guys do at Dell Technologies is that you look at the successes that some of your partners have had, and you can emulate that and share those learnings with, other partners and individuals alike. I mean, we're all in this together. And, if it works with one of your partners, and I know that you're going to have many, many workshops and breakout sessions on emerging technologies, for example, such as AI, edge, IoT, multi-cloud, even 5G that you spoke about.
Yeah.
So those breakout sessions are going to be exciting. I mean, this Dell Technologies Forum is just packed with information across really anything to do with technology.
100% right, Aki. And I think, what I'm excited about is there's another plethora of new tech coming down the line. You talked about Apex. It's a consumption model, but it takes, the whole infrastructure discussion to another level in terms of management. So, very excited about that, and that will give a whole host of opportunities to partners as well as to customers in managing their business. 5G seems like spectrum is at least going to be auctioned off soon. That opens up a whole host of opportunities, especially around the private 5G opportunities for corporates.
Indeed.
You talked about edge. Edge is being accelerated dramatically, and we haven't seen, that come to the fore, but that's going to be massive, as we find new business models around edge. And we always use the driverless car as the one example of, what edge could look like. But we're going to come up with, thousands of opportunities. I was looking at one of our medical services organizations launching a private hospital at home. That's edge. There's an example of you effectively utilizing technology, and you've moved the hospital from a central environment into the house with monitors and stuff. You need an edge network to be able to deliver that, because you're playing with somebody's life now.
Yes.
So it's critical that you have that. And then we talk around cybersecurity. South Africa has sort of been spared, ransom attacks. But if you look over the last 6 months, unfortunately, it's in the press every single, Saturday and Sunday. And we've got a fantastic offering around that. And then, the stock standard stuff, around our work from home solutions that are still being expanded, and we're delivering on, more richness around that. So I'm very excited, as you can hear, around some of the tech we're bringing. And, a lot of it's future-based and can really change the makeup of business, the way partners engage with customers, and the way society functions as a whole. So, I think there's a lot of exciting stuff that we're bringing to market.
Looking so forward to it. Doug, free to attend?
As always, Aki, we're there to evangelize. We're there to get out the message. We're there to, make sure that, customers and partners understand what the opportunities are. So always free to attend. We believe the message needs to be heard.
Doug, it's always interesting. I've attended the Dell Technologies Forum in Las Vegas. It was 2 years ago, and I hope it comes back to normal as a live event. But one of the things that I really look forward to was always the entertainment after a day on the floor and engaging with people, just to unwind. And I guess that, it's always difficult to emulate that when you're doing a virtual event. But I believe that this year you have a surprise at the Dell Technology Forum.
Indeed. It is a surprise. We've managed to try and emulate that on a virtual front. So if you're into, good rock, we've got the big man, John Bon Jovi, that is going to maybe make a little appearance for the event. So, be cool to, listen to his music. But that's we're trying to just emulate what we do in a physical event. So it'd be good to listen to that. So another draw card on top of the box, on top of speaking to McLaren. So we're trying to make it a bit of, create a little bit of fun as well around the event.
So he will be performing, John Bon Jovi will be performing exclusively for Dell Technology Forum here in South Africa 2021.
So for all our forums globally. So
oh my word, I'm a huge fan of his, and Doug, you give love a bad name. Okay, now let me
see you a fan there, Aki.
We'll leave that to John Bon Jovi. Looking forward to that, Doug. That's the Dell Technology Forum. And if that doesn't entice you, click on that link below. Register for Dell Technology Forum 2021, taking place on 21 October. Virtual event, as you heard Doug talking about, the incredible keynotes, the incredible information that you're going to get leaving this particular conference, and all those breakout sessions. It's going to be a not-to-miss technology conference this year, albeit virtually, but at the end of the conference, there is going to be some amazing entertainment, John Bon Jovi. So if you haven't registered yet, click on that link below and we'll see you 21 October, Dell Technologies Forum virtually. Doug, as always good to chat to you, and look forward to seeing you on the 21st of October.
Thanks, Aki.